So welcome all of you to our September 12th guild meeting. It's really great to see everybody here. And before we get started, I do want to announce now that Stacy has postcards that are available. If you haven't received postcards for our center event coming up in October, if you want to be sending out postcards, please see her after the meeting. And then to go forward, we're really happy to have Deb Meier here. She's going to talk about her watercolors. She's going to do some demonstrating. She's a retired art teacher of about 6 or 7 years, right?
7 to 8.
And working as hard as ever in a different venue. So here's that, and the meeting over to you.
Okay, I'm going to try and remember to use my teacher voice here. It's been a lot. I still teach. I'm at the Jewish Community Center in Amherst these days. I have a beginner's watercolor class, advanced watercolor, and studio art. So it's a thriving art community there. But I got into watercolor just before I retired. I went to 2 meetings with the Niagara Frontier Watercolor Society. And at the time I was teaching Hyatt's, and I went to Hyatt's and they asked, well, how did it go? And I said, after 2 meetings, I don't think I'm going to fall in love with this at all. I don't admit. Somehow, within 6 months, that changed. I got really interested in watercolor after being juried out of the first show I submitted to for them, and started studying with Josie, reading. I've got a watercolor library, bookshelf and a half that rivals anything the Buffalo Public Library has to offer. And wouldn't you know, now I'm president of the Niagara Frontier Watercolor Society. So I guess I eventually get in. I believe in stories. I believe in being a storyteller. You have to involve the viewer in your art. Each of these stories, pictures, paintings, drawings, has a story behind them. This little guy, I keep painting. He lives with me. He's also the one who will fly over my shoulder, run down my hand, and try and lick the paint out of the palettes. Really thinks the other looks young. I don't have a picture of Alex here. The other here is Sebastian, belongs to a friend of mine. But telling a story in the picture is important. What can you surmise about his personality from this?
Oh, dinosaur.
Yeah. When we hit that they are dinosaurs in the past, they really are still dinosaurs inside. I do a lot of nature. This place here is Fallbrook Falls. When I was going to school in Geneseo for my first college degree in studio art and then in broadcasting, I would hike out there every week with my dad's Kodak Retina and some silver film. Remember those days when we could afford to have silver film, black and white developed? And I would take pictures there. It would change every single week, whether it was really dry or whether it was wet. Each time I went there was a cow in the middle of the lawn. Underneath, I would feed Betsy back to her farm. Mile and a half creek hike with a cow. Most of you know Coca from Buffalo Zoo, who died during this past year. When I heard about him, I went trolling to my camera to find a photo of him. Most of these are based on photos that I took. And that's really important. There are Facebook groups. I was telling Nancy about the free reference photos for animal artists, something like that. Les Little is one of the photographers. And those are places where people can post photos that they've taken that artists can freely use. There's one drawback to it. If you have a show that is about buffaloes in Buffalo, New York, there's a chance that 3 or 4 artists will choose the same photo of the same buffalo from by the same photographer. So, whatever possible, work from your own photos. I have also fallen into doing portraits. This little guy was at a fundraiser for Native offerings, if anyone's a member of their CSA. They're south of here. And he was up to his eyeballs in his glass of lemonade. But with his red hair and his red hat, I was just captivated with him. And I asked the parents if I could take his picture because I didn't want to seem like a stalker. My other frequent subject was my fiance Brian. He's also in the one on the end there entitled Whiskey Eye. I take him about once or twice a year, and the last 2 years, both of those paintings have taken an award. The last one was across the street this past summer. Got Whiskey Eye got second place watercolors at the East Aurora Art Show. So he referred to himself as a star model and my roadie. How many of you do the art show? I mean the art show. Okay, so you know it is nearly impossible to set up by yourself. You really need a second person, and he is my second person. So these are all watercolor. Somebody asked me if I use gouache. Generally, I do not. Only one of these has gouache in it. It's the mirror dog here. And it's got some gouache stars in the sky. It's fabulous. All of the white here was reserved paper. Or where the paint was lifted off. Sometimes called. I got ways to move the face. This, okay, this is on Aquablue by Ampersand. Great product. First time I used it, I hated it. It takes a little while to use it, but you can paint on it. The only thing is, afterwards you have to either cold wax it or varnish it with a spray. That one is cold wax. You compare that. This one is the reaction when you see. This is on watercolor. And I adhere it to a crayon foot panel using golden salt plus gel, and then trim it, and afterwards, like a little down there on that. I cold wax it in Jorland's cold wax. Usually you would use that, add that as a medium of oil. But in this case, using it to spread it out and breaking it clean means that I can pour water on them and the paint won't move. I can't even paint over it. Believe me, I tried, but it doesn't work. So when I started out very stiff. Draw everything out and then paint everything in like a paint by number. And the problem with that is that my paintings look like paint by number. Even the first time I got turned into agricultural watercolor stuff, this is a year later, and I got surprised by winning second place in the show. People were nudging me because I kind of tuned out and was, yeah, something, why? But, even that one, I believe it looks like a feed by numbers. It doesn't involve the viewer. It looks a lot like my photo. Now I'm trying to veer away from that, and I'm using little tricks to try and force myself to think creatively, to think abstractly. One of the artists that I recommend looking up online for such things is Jean Haynes. She's a UK artist out of Wales. She has videos on, I believe, YouTube. She also has some on her website. And she is a master of how to engage the viewer and not give them all the news. We as artists want people to think for it, to come up with some of their own news. So I will demonstrate today how I start a painting. Most of these paintings took 2 hours. This took about 3 hours, not just for the painting part. This one took 50 minutes. This I was trying to pull it. So this was an exercise with Richard Stevens from Little Rock, Arkansas. He came up and did a workshop with Agriculture and Watercolor Society. He gave us 15 minutes to draw, then 50 minutes to paint. It was good. Maybe it was not. It was still under 60 minutes, and we had to put our brushes down and say, we're done. So there was a lot of paint flying. Lots of fun though, because it forces you to think differently about the image. Well, I'm going to start from today. And this here is usually what I use for painting plein air because it gives me a place to sit. This was made for me by William Dorfeld. Anybody who's interested, he's out of album material. He was the father of one of my first students. And this is my current plein air box. This is from Santa Fe Paint Box. And unfortunately, yes, that's what my television is. Kind of dangerous. I'm going to move this over to the center, so hopefully everybody can see. We take a couple things off here. See if I can do this without them being going. This is actually the first one he has the prototype, and he's made and sold others since then. So it's a good guy. So yes, I still do draw, but it's changed a little bit. I'm gonna instead of sitting down, I'm gonna try and do this from the side. So everybody can see. I have a picture of Jimmy Crowcat. He is a crow from this area. And just the basics here for shapes. And at this point, lately, I have been switching over to the watercolor pencil. Because the watercolor pencil disappears as you add paint into it. But I forgot those. Along with the large paintings of the process that I'm going to show you. So it's been a wonderful day so far. I'm going to start a continuous line grid using a microphone. Everybody here know what a continuous line drawing is? Yes, no, I am not allowed to lift my pencil. You got it right. And what happens with this is I'm gonna end up with a lot of red trash. Which is why I'm. Also, kind of forces me to work fast and not to get too annoyed with various details and look for shapes. Yeah, sometimes. I feel those people, for those people who are here who are lefties. Yeah. You try to put your kids lefty and it doesn't work. Like it would for a right-handed person. Well, I was born left-handed. But I went to school in kindergarten when they would tell me to put the crayon in my right hand. And she'd slap my hand and put the crayon in the left. She'd turn her back, I'd tell her, put it in the right hand. I put it back in my left. Until finally after 2 weeks, I figured out, okay, I've got to keep it in the right hand. I've learned to be right-handed, but I can also do things with my left hand. And sometimes I'll draw it and just make it a little more off kilter and abstract. So when we start, how many people start with the main subject here? Anybody? How many people start with backlinks? I can start with those. So because of watercolor paper, I'm going to wet down first. I chose not to bring my sponge today. One more thing here.
What year is that?
This is 140 weight arches cold press. One of my favorite. Nice thing about is when it's wet, it sticks. I also like ball hog, which is a favorite of Thomas Showers. And I have fallen in love with indigo, which is handmade out of India. It's a water media paper and has the greatest texture. And I can get granulation out of indigo, but I can't do it with arches, just because of the nature of paper. Okay, so this is placing that. I've used as few brush strokes as I can to wet it. Remember the days when we used to put the watercolor paper in the bathtub and let it soak for an hour, and then you stretch it and the emulsion would be gone. That's old school. Now we try and leave as much emulsion back on as we can. This is a dry room. My back is already. Yes.
Is there certain branding like?
I use mostly Windsor. Although there are a few by Daniel Smith.
I was just gonna say, he's got a lot of good branding.
Yeah.
You do, yeah.
And I started experimenting a little bit in some of the shrinky line, which are nice. I've got some full lines as well. Full line is wonderful, but you pick up one tube of paint and it's like, okay, that's one arm and half of the leg. But they are very expensive. But winter is the watercolor. And I only buy tubes because with this set, I can set them in there, let it dry, open for a couple days, and I'm good to go. If I want a deep color, I use fresh paint.
Do you use tubes or pans? Yeah, okay.
There's a few ways to fix the color down fast. One is a good mop brush or a good mop brush. I really recommend having both. Different things. This is a road. So I can get some color in really fast. And because it's white, I don't mind going over my subject a little bit. Because that helps blend to the cohesiveness of the finished painting. Here, keep going to me. I don't know, you guys know, don't soak the brushes. Yeah, because the water gets in the barrel, the metal part, and causes the bristles to fall out. And I always have two things with water going here, one for rinsing, one for cleaning. So let's say I want to get some really in here. And maybe we'll go ahead for the blue because one of my favorite things. Actually, I don't know if we turn up. So this is a mop. Raise the grip. But that's nothing against that. The problems are the cheap is done on this is watercolor. It is a full body artist watercolor spray bottle. I buy it for big white by the dozen. They're cheaper that way. Don't get them from Amazon, they cost twice as much. They hold 2 ounces of whatever you put in there. This is Aurelian, or no, this is Windsor. No, this is Aurelian. Okay, the pearls are four close. And I just put some of the tube in here and added water. It's a great way to add a soft glow of rename your color. I have yellow gold because it's great for things like the falls here, a little yellow, some white, the grass of the waterfalls. This is something that I have just discovered. It is called the Stress Spray Stain. First time I've used this color, it's called Salvage 15. That yes, or Ranger, that's simple. You will find there is oxide spray and spray stain. The oxide has some white in it. The spray stain does not. Something about the white they add apparently in the state of California causes stains. I guess it doesn't here. Because it's like, this is something I found in an art teacher. Many art supplies are not labeled as cancer or carcinogenic here in New York State. I mean, California they are. This stuff, when I put it on. Good eye. I'm really be able to do that. Oh, it's gonna dry quickly in this transportation, not nozzle. This is just plain water. Can't take the water. Now, the reason I use it heavy. There's also a reason I use it from about 3 feet away, because that stuff is really strong. But you see this slot right here? It's not really gonna move. It's already settled in. And all I can do is soften it at this point because it's still wet. But this yellow here. I can spray that down with white flat. So that is the big difference there between watercolor and spray stick. In a transparent watercolor show, I should not use spray stick. Because transparent watercolor, the use are no white, other than the white of the paper, no black paint, unless you mix your own color, you know, that magic combination of French ultramarine and burnt sienna. Combined with trial, you've got black. But they want everything to be able to be re-wet. They're not gonna take it out of the show and test it. So if you decide to use liquid acrylic and a watercolor method, nobody's the wiser. But this is how I start out. I love occasionally blotting. That's there for. These are shop towels. I get them at Home Depot. If you don't get some shop towels, I recommend Viva, but use the signature brand or signature line that has no pattern in Boston. Otherwise, you go to blot and find out, ooh, I got these flowers. Picture that kind of with my spring bouquet over there on this. But I really love these. They are very, very absorbent. Now, okay, Dr. King. All right. I'm going to go into this one. Have your paint here. You stand for blue, I'm going to stick with them for blue. I am primarily a sciatic painter. This is still quite wet, that's okay. Sciatic, what? Sciatic means that you pick your red, your blue, your yellow, and you stick with those three. We can pick a couple watercolor colors. But it's almost beyond having a limited palette. I can pick a red yet. Well, let's go with this. Nice and good. Again, I'm not worried so much about the edges yet. There's a lot left to be here. No illusions about getting to a fine food. Fine. If you step back, well, it's that's why I put an A for not.
Well, the means behind it, all that, so.
Yes, there's a,
Apartment,
there's a. I was curious. I said, you're not gonna run. But it's beating up on. Let me get some smaller ones. Don't tell me I forgot those too.
Focus it better when the lighting is dim. There's that.
They're home. I'm working with them hot brush. Won't be in person. Has anybody here heard of the watercolor box? No? Joseph, so. Probably murdering his.
Recording in progress.
He wrote, Naturally atmosphere in watercolor. And it is available for free download of the Internet Archive. I can some of you go in afterwards. After the first edition was printed, he had a difference of opinion with his publisher. And so he had it scanned and put online for free. First editions now go for anywhere from between $150 to $400 a month. And yes, I got it. I got one. One change and just like. We'll make it work. And this rise is gonna be 2 to 3 shades whiter anyhow. So usually at home, this is right around the point. And I will let this start working. If I can put my second filter. Even in environments, right? No, but in class, I have a Ranger heat gun. I prefer heat guns because it's not rolling. But I like the drips. I like. I'm repeating my cell phone as well. But I mean, I'm going to get some colors emerging out of it. I can already see something interesting happening here. If I use a hair dryer, I'm going to use it. I'm one of those people who takes pictures of my palette after it's dry, because it's doing wonky things. And another thing that this is my water. Throw some on. And if you don't mind, I'd like to invite people to come up and see what that's doing. Because this is what gets me excited, is seeing the drips, the rules, and seeing the little shapes starting to come around. I'm gonna come around. Yeah. I mean, look at those shapes by the water. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep this flat for a minute. So it's so there. But it's fun stuff, and you can't predict it. You can hope. It's yeah, starting to settle in here. Now,
Can you try, can you try to show us at home a little bit? Wait, let me put this down.
that help?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
nice.
What I can do is, because I know there's not a hope and a chance of finishing this here. Yeah. Just to give it variation, if you see a crow up close, I mean, you think of blackbird, right? But they're not black. Crows are like color, when we mix our own blacks in our palettes. They're, when the light hits them, you see blues, you see violets, you see magenta. They really are amazing birds with technicolor feathers. The next time you see a grackle, you know, grackles with the yellow eye ring, everyone goes, oh, they're cats. But take a picture and zoom in. And the colorations on their feathers, the reflections, are just amazing. I think that's why we keep our corvids. And then to bring the corvid king, it's pretty sure it's one of the two others. And then I just overlook them. Okay.
Zoom in on, oh, nice.
This is Budgie. Budgie, parakeet. Yeah. Native to Australia. Little tiny little bird that fits in your hand. But if you've ever had one, they have a personality the size of Wisconsin. They are just amazing. I invite everyone here to look up the YouTube videos that Disco the Budgie or Disco the Parakeet put on YouTube. Disco unfortunately is passed on, but I got the honor of meeting Disco in person at the vet one day. Apparently we used to say that. This is a barn owl. He's almost done. I should be able to finish him once I get home to him. I know it's easy till 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And these folks started with that saying, goosey, goosey, I'm gonna spray, I'm gonna spatter, and I'm gonna break rules. This one's almost. And those crows don't have any black. This one, it's a lot of antwerp, permanent rose, and UVM foliage. My wild card color is Windsor red. This crow is MacGyver. I haven't named this one yet. I've got some crows who meet me on my walks on Grand Island because I know that I feed them. And yes, one day I took them a Wegmans tart from the bakery, just so I could see how they would start destroying. They got about halfway through and the two flew off with it. There's about 8 crows who visit my walks. But they really are amazing, intelligent birds. If Jimmy Crockett is still around, I'm not sure because his family has not posted lately. But he is the one who will be there like, how are you? How are you? In the videos. But, yes,
Were you able to paint much when you were teaching?
no. At the end of the day, I mean, I paint with kids. And I demoed, and there was always a finished product. I've done a product that I did with each class. And so if I had 8 groups of 3rd graders, yes, I had that many the last year I was teaching. I would have 1 finished product to show them, then 8 products that I finished with the class as I demonstrated. But at the end of the day, I did not have the gumption to look at paint, let alone smell tempera. Gum air, especially black. Something about black pepper paint, it goes bad quickly, it's like heat wine.
Thank you.
So, any other questions? Yeah.
I was going to say, does anyone have any questions for that? Or do you have any questions?
Very good question. When you paint at home, you use this?
No. No.
Okay.
I submitted to you, I have a, what's called a G paint easel. And it is adjustable like this. Usually when I'm painting at that angle, it's got a good, I mean, it's a 45-degree angle, it's a good tilt. So the paint runs. Here, well, you saw with this one, I was getting a pretty good run on the paint, and it's still drooling there. Once this dries, I'm gonna start playing with it, and picking things out and scrubbing out some colors. And even now, let's say I wanted to lift the swing a little bit. Little block. This is what I tell people. Use a paper towel that doesn't have any print and don't wipe. Always blot. Because the minute you wipe, you're really disturbing that emotion. And you're going to end up with those marks moving on the floor. You're going to end up with marks and streaks in your artwork that are disturbing, that make people wonder instead of especially with portraits, instead of a smooth cheek, it's going to look like lines. The other thing you probably noticed that I did, I'll go back to the first one here. I have taught myself to use the belly of the brush more than the tip.
Is there a certain line of brushes that you prefer? Do you mix them up? Is there like kinds of brushes?
The Tea Crisp Pure, it's the largest mop that Da Vinci makes, and I got it at Hyatt's for a very reasonable price.
I was gonna say, those are,
But, I mean,
like, do you like squirrel? Do you like synthetic? Do you do
yes.
a mix? All of them? I'm the same way. Yeah,
At least of the professional.
yeah.
Makes a wonderful line, 90/20. When 8 brushes, when it's on sale, it's $60. $59.99. I bought a bunch of them to teach with back when they were coming. That way, when I teach, everybody's using my brushes, and we're all starting out on the same point. And the reason I did that was teaching at Hyatt's and people were bringing their own brush. And I said, okay, we're gonna start out with the loose walls, and somebody has a size 1 brush, it's the largest brush. Now I can't stay here until your kid is grad school and med school working on their PhD for you to finish that wall. Here, you decide 50. Why was I talking?
Excited.
Okay. A lot of people will paint using just 15 cents of the brush, which is great if you're adding details, but if you are covering a large area, you want to use the velvet brush. Use that for the shape. This is how wet that paper is. It's just really novel.
Deb, do you have any other shit, any shows coming up? Anytime soon?
I have that piece that is going into the Niagara Frontier Watercolor Society show, the jury dinner. That's in October, November at the Keenan Center. I'm submitting something to Western New York Art School this weekend, so matter of fact, the Bunchy and Farmhouse. Are the ones that are gonna be finished up tonight and framed. And we'll see if they get juries.
You have just a couple more minutes, are there any more questions?
We got Williams stuff. Yes.
Oh, you can consider like this is the thing.
Yes. Yes, yes, that is definitely an ugly thing. But it's such an important part of the painting these days, because all of this ties it all together. One time we might overpainting, but maybe an hour and I'm done. And it's all based on this underpainting. More from those two. So we started screening.
Then do you consider posting that work so we can see it?
I will be happy to. I'll take pictures as it progresses. I will share with the group, and I will see the work here. I looked down, it's like, yeah, there I am. Any other questions?
Could we please have a round of applause? You know, it's great here, where you get into some of the techniques. And business
Target us with this card, take a look at them, they all have different facts on them. Move those my business cards and they are two-sided for the same price as one-sided. Thank you so much.
All right, so while, Deb's still here, and thank her again. If there is anybody here who would like to present for us, or if there's anybody who watches this on Zoom, please contact me. I'm Robin Yates. I'm responsible for finding speakers. So please do contact us if you want to demonstrate, show your work. It's a great way to promote your work. And it's obviously, it's a great group of people. We appreciate so much what you did for us tonight.
No problem. If whoever wants to add that to demonstrate full wax process, how we have it, how to full wax it, I've got it down to it. I could present the whole thing in an hour.
Thank you. And also to remind you, if you do need postcards for the upcoming Arts Center event, for the show, please see Stacy after the meetings. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Oh, thanks. Hang on.
Right here. Thank you. I don't have my glasses.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just wanted to see.